Let's get this show on the road, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for ordering this Full Moon in Aries webinar. This is the Peace Dealer, and I hope you are set to enjoy at least what is here to come through. Don't mind the camera. I'll put it back on again soon. One moment. Thank you very much for your patience. Yes, this full moon in Aries, of course, is here to bring out the fullness of your power. And I kind of apologize because I was so kind of busy with focusing on the other energy that we have been bombarded with that I forgot to emphasize how important this full moon really is. Because as I've said before, it's taken 6 months to really get to this point. You know, it's taken six years really, and then the 6 months to get to this Libra season. Now we're culminating the completion of this cycle in Aries. So this is that power moment where you fully feel who you are in awareness of every single connection that you have. And due to the nature of it being an opposition, this is going to surely come with and through conflict that will encourage and push you to define this. Let me not really sound too technical about this. This is really fun. This is actually really exciting. Everything about this full moon is going to be really exciting, but the stress will be there because it is squaring Pluto, and it's going to make this an intense kind of excitement where you're involved in things or with people that don't necessarily walk the straightest path, and you're having to incorporate the application of your boundaries. What rules are you going to enforce or break to establish a deeper sense of awareness in these relationships? This cycle from the full moon is going to disseminate, lead to a third quarter square, and then we're going to move into Scorpio and start the divine RPG. Now, the divine RPG is going to begin during this full moon period. All right. Once again, when we talk about the lunar phases of energy, from the new moon in Libra to the full moon was a gibbous phase. It was a waning phase or a waxing. And then it was gibbous after the first quarter square. That first quarter square was all about making sure you are in a profound awareness to understand who it is you're meant to be with. So what happened the first quarter square is you met new people, but then that first quarter square happened and it kind of shook things up because you realized that not everyone you're with you're meant to move forward with. You might have met certain people in your life because of other people, and now those other people, they're not necessarily, they have no place really anymore. You're now starting to see what the connection really is, whereas before you had to be blinded so that they can bring the people who you need to really be in your life. Now this is coming to completion at the full moon, and in the full moon in Aries you'll be very clear with who is really meant to open doors with you and who doesn't need to be here. Okay, keep this in mind, because over the disseminating phase, once we get to that third quarter square, from now to the moon in Cancer, this is where we're now going to start to release and get ready to let go of connections that no longer serve us. Anything that helped us get here, we can now release. And I want you to keep this in mind, because this last quarter square, thank you, April, is going to very hugely indicate how powerful your skills are, how powerful you are, and who you are bringing. One thing you want to keep in mind, from the full moon in Aries to the new moon in Scorpio, this is literally going to feel like you're rolling down that roller coaster. It's going to feel like you're entering into, you're going to get jitters. You're going to really like start to manifest deeper parts of what you've been wanting to manifest. And it's like, wow, the feeling you're going to have over the next 2 weeks is, wow, this is actually happening. Wow, this is actually happening. Wow, this is actually happening. And that wow, this is actually happening feeling is going to trigger tomorrow as the moon slips into Pisces, to Aries, and we start to feel the tingle of Uranus. And this is the significance of this, because the moon will be on Uranus while the sun is on Jupiter. That's what's activating this. And it's the only time we're going to have the moon on Uranus while the sun's on Jupiter. So the sun's going to be powering up Jupiter while we receive this internally with the moon Uranus. This is going to force trigger collective awakenings and activations. If some of you are around a lot of people for some reason, it's because you're all about to evolve as a soul group. It's all just going to kind of like happen. And now what's going to happen is during this full moon, events are going to trigger outside of your control that's going to just throw shit all the way out of proportion. And you're going to have to make an important decision on where you stand. It doesn't matter how cool you are with the people that this happens with. You have to really, since this is an Aries, come back to what you want. Don't try and appeal. You're aware of what the other person is wanting so that you can be aware of what you need. Anything that you don't need in this relationship is what you're letting go. But this is squaring Pluto. So this is literally going to force, like if there are any people in your life who have to leave your life, like the full moon is going to force this. And you have from the full moon to the moon being in Cancer to actually let this go. Because some of these people could mean well, but they're like a channel for negative entities. And you may not know the dark forces are actually using them to slow you down. So it's totally cool because the universe is going to take care of this for you. The universe is orchestrating events now and as we speak to let everyone go where they may. Your job is that once this happens, you release, because you will have the decision to still hold on. And if you hold on now, now if anything bad happens, you won't get protected because you're choosing to keep this energy. But this full moon in Aries is going to reveal. The reason why things are going to get intense is because things are going to get revealed in a way where everyone who's hiding stuff, it's brought to the open in relationships. This full moon in Aries alone is going to be responsible for a lot of cheaters in relationships getting caught, a lot of double dealers and partnerships really being exposed, because Pluto literally just brings it open. And then Libra and Aries are now having a fight. It's like Libra and Aries meet together, and then Pluto like snitches on both of them and is like, Aries, this is what Libra's doing. Libra, this is what Aries is doing. And then it's like, ugh, all right, Uranus, Aries is crazy with Uranus, and even though it's Jupiter, Libra will still throw hands. All right, so just keep that in mind. It's going to be, if you're chaotic, if you like trouble, if you're kind of mischievous, if you're mercurial, this is going to be a fun time because you can exploit a whole lot of people, being in their feelings to expose more truth. If you're a bit jarred by situations like this, I would withdraw as soon as you can. As soon as you start to feel the drama simmering in the air, get away. Especially if you're sensitive and you can sense energy already. As soon as you feel that drama start to simmer, I would leave. as soon as possible, because you're picking up on an explosion. It's like how you sense drama that's simmering and you're like, okay, maybe this might blow over. And there's a little bit of curiosity that makes you want to see. No, you need to leave. Unless you're a part of that drama, then some of this is going to be unavoidable. So do what you can to protect yourself. It's going to be very quick. It's an Aries, so it's going to be boom. And then as quickly as it started, it's going to end. Once everything moves into Taurus, it'll chill. But you just have to make sure you're on the right side of your own psyche and really, have it. What's up, the pack? Glad you can make it. So, yeah, the purpose of all this conflict is to bring out your power so that instead of shrinking behind, you use this opportunity to really express yourself. It's Aries, so like you're going to really feel the anger. Some of you are feeling irrational anger at things. Some of you are kind of like reacting to people in really irrational ways, whether internally or externally. And then maybe they do something on the outside and you're like, okay, wait, maybe something's wrong with me. I can't believe I just like snapped off on that person and I went off on this imaginary tangent. Like, I think I just need to be chilling. You have to remember there's a yin world and the yang world. So don't mistake the intuitions you're feeling in the yin world with the observations of the yang world. You're not being irrational. What you're picking up on is 100% correct. So honor that. Okay, that doesn't mean that you should change your behavior towards that person in the yang world. This is teaching you to balance both, to honor both observations, but do not discredit what the moon in Pisces is telling you right now about like why you're feeling a certain way. These are going to indicate unresolved emotions that are misunderstood, that you try and explain to people and they look at you sideways, or they'll do this. Yeah, I get you, but you can feel inside that they clearly don't understand what you're talking about, or they don't believe you, which is even worse than just like, bluntly saying you don't care. But yeah, these are things that are going to come to light when the moon is in Gemini. Okay, we're going to go into the Peace Mobile soon so that we can explain more of these transits. But before we do, I want to explain the itinerary for this webinar. I'm going to speak a little bit more about the significance of this full moon in relation to the transits that we're headed forward into. And then I'm going to head into the Peace Mobile so we can break down the disseminating and balsamic phase of this transit. After we do so, we will do a short power meditation so that we can just sit. And since the moon is in Pisces, we're going to do the power meditation tonight. Thank you, Pat. We're going to do the power meditation together. And then I want you to repeat it when the moon is actually full. But doing it now will add magic because the moon is in Pisces. And we also have a couple Pisces moons in the live chat. So doing it with them is actually going to supercharge our intentions, and then it'll activate once the moon goes in Aries. So if you forget to do it, it's cool. But, if you do it again, all right, it'll be even greater while the moon is full. So yeah, we're going to do a power meditation that's going to activate your inner fire just by intending to. All right. And it will require visualizing relationships in your life. And then we'll chant special words so that it's not like anything magical will happen, because something magical will happen, especially, you believing in it, but something magical will happen triggered by your belief in it. But what's more important is that you carry that focus with you forward into the full moon in Aries. You whatever you chant, carry it forward with you. And then once the full moon is in Aries, you can release that focus, and you don't even have to do the meditation again, but if you want to, you can. And then, yeah, so we'll go more into that after we do the meditation. We will divine and do predictions for the signs, and I will pull some cards, and then I'll take some Q&A. So once again, this full moon in Aries is literally, first of all, the first full moon that is triggering this cycle. So this is what's very symbolic, where we already started Aries season 6 months ago, and now we're starting off a new full moon lunar cycle. The last full moon lunar cycle is going to be in Virgo season when the full moon is in Pisces, like we just had. All right. So what this first full moon is wanting to have us release with the new moon in Aries wanted us to now set the intention to spark the awareness of who we truly are, our true selves. Now, this full moon is going to give you the secrets and understanding of your true self to release anything that gets in the way of you bringing this forward to others in relationships. As such, a lot of these secrets are going to be shown you. It's gonna happen because fire brings to light a whole lot of what occurs. But now, since we have this Venus and Mars and Virgo, and Jupiter is literally going to shift into Scorpio any day now during this next week. This is really at a profound level going to provide not only major clarity, but what we're bringing into with this full moon cycle is the awareness and the receptivity of who we truly are, and bringing that energy into Scorpio to transform, set the intention to transform that. So you really just want to take whatever realizations that occur today, tomorrow, and next tomorrow, and meditate on how you're ready to transform that to the next level. Because as it moves forward, as I'll show you now in the Peace Mobile, this will do a whole lot to very, very powerfully and adequately reveal how well you can not only integrate this true self with others, but expand and evolve from this every day. So right now, as we speak, the moon in a mutable sign means that things are happening. There is a happening, and the moon is literally opposite Mars. So we're triggering some very important karmic energy right now, while still being intuitive to this unseen etheric energy that is very much so projecting our current reality from a spiritual side. Now, the moon will come full into this reality, right? That's the duality between feminine and masculine. And with the moon in Aries, this is going to really help trigger here with this square and put everything in place so that you know where you stand with everyone. And as the moon now, I was about to say. As the moon now shifts into Taurus, this is where the decisions you make now transform. You're making your cuts because this is the 8th house. And then the grand earth trine we have here, as you make your cuts and transformations, this is where you start to really experience the growth and the building of these relationships, so they provide greater foundation. But a whole lot of those dynamics will now come to light as the moon is in Gemini. And from the moon in Aries to here, this is a disseminating phase. So a whole lot of what you succeed and complete here, you're going to gain the benefits of and finalize in this 3rd quarter square. So once the Jupiter moves into Scorpio and you feel this with the moon, and I think it's symbolic how Jupiter is going to be in Scorpio and the moon will also be in Cancer, 0 degree trine. So we're really going to feel this. And this is the last quarter square of this Libra transit, to where now how you truly feel about the people you're in relationships with has to come out, or has to somehow transform in an important way, because this cross is going to be very dramatic. And this 3rd quarter square is really finalizing the purpose of this transit. You now know what relationships you're meant to move forward with. So now this is going to be a great period to really examine the true, sincere feelings you both share. Is actually, even though it's chaotic, what's going to make it chaotic is it's a great opportunity to grow closer to kindred souls and people who are actually very important for you. Be very mindful now, because during this closing phase, before we step into the balsamic, this moon Leo conjunct while the sun is in Libra is going to really bring powerful, great news and opportunity when it comes to taking the connections you have and establishing activity that even pushes you more forward into your destiny. But days like this could be great for receiving news of advancement or receiving praise from a lot of people. The 11th house effect here during this Libra season will really have you finally understand what you've gained and learned from this season. So as we now get into the balsamic phase, the opposition to Neptune can very, very much confuse a whole lot of how you really express this energy once again, because you have to make sure you're in a position to, sacrifice and surrender certain details of what you may have wanted that does not fit with the highest good of what everyone wants. I'm not really big into compromise. I don't want to do, but it's just kind of one of those things you're going to have to. And as this goes over Mars and starts to square Saturn, you'll really feel into why this has to change. But once we have this new moon in Libra, oh, I said new moon in Scorpio, so it's actually new moon in Libra. And the significance about this now is that since we're shifting from a full moon in Aries to the new moon in Libra, this is beautiful. And when we do the new moon in Libra webinar, I'll speak on this, but you're gaining the power now in Aries so that you're going to bring that out over the next 2 weeks. So during the new moon in Libra, you're setting an intention to really keep this powered up version of yourself. Oh my gosh, you see this opposition? It's going to be gnarly sauce. And we're going to have a conjunction to Mercury and Jupiter, which is just like super uber huge. So yeah, my friends, this is definitely set to be one of the most intense couple of weeks. When you play with cardinal signs, they don't play around. It's definitely a lot of power building, intensity, and character development. All right. And the webinar for the new moon, by the way, is going to be October 23rd. So what we're going to do now is the power meditation. And in the power meditation, all we really need to do is call forth the energy and evoke this from Uranus. But since the moon is in Pisces right now, we're going to actually draw on Neptune's energy. So if you do this while the moon is in Aries, then you want to draw on Uranus, and just remember to do it again with Uranus's energy. But yeah, Neptune is going to really provide a mystical element of this. Here's an example. I look at the clock and it's 5:33 p.m. So instead of a more shocking, jarring realization that Uranus gives you, Neptune's going to kind of subtly show you how to integrate this energy. So what this full moon, once again, is set to do, and what this power meditation will help you do, is carry the focus you need to really, first of all, gather your own inner fire and carry that fire towards your relationships. What I mean by this is we're going to envision ourselves in the relationships that we're in and how we want to be. Then we're going to stoke that fire, and then we'll come up with our own special word to chant. And this is something that you can keep in your mind, or a feeling that you're going to move forward with you and you're going to bring this feeling to the new moon in Libra, where you now release this intent, okay, which we'll do in the webinar. So that being said, let us begin. We can start now by taking a couple of diaphragmatic breaths. A whole lot of the power activation is being done for us. So that's why on our end, there's really not much we have to do. What this power meditation is doing is preparing your vessel for the transit to do it on its own. So your focus is just going to make this process a lot more smooth. Maybe if this was another transit, like we might have to do a lot during the Scorpio one because that energy is more receptive. But when we deal with masculine energy like fire and air, they do it for you. It requires you to show up, but because you show up, it's going to also, express itself. And it's just more of you being aware of what's going down. So, that being said, the envisioning of the relationships that you are in is activating Jupiter in Libra and Saturn in Sagittarius, which the vision being Saturn in Sagittarius, you're using your imagination to see it. And then your sense of your relationships is activating Jupiter in Libra. Just by imagining and visualizing this, you're activating this. All right. So spend time activating that energy. And then what we're going to do when you feel the fire stoke, right? And say the words, that's activating Uranus and Aries. And through your throat chakra, we're going to connect this. And then once you gain a feeling from that connection, hold on to that feeling and remember what that feels like and move it forward with you. So once again, keep that breath and now just envision yourself in relationships. And it doesn't even have to be with specific people. Just envision it. This is more about, since the moon is in Aries, going inside. What this full moon is doing is you're aware of relationships, but you're feeling how you feel inside. So how do you feel authentic in yourself to bring the awareness of the sun into Libras with others? Okay. What is necessarily on the energy that you express balance and also, give forth? What do you feel when you're being your best self? How do you necessarily um, expand and evolve the situation? These are everything that you want to visualize. And while the moon is in Pisces, spend time visualizing this, spend time connecting this opposition. Okay. You can release it once the moon is in Aries. And I'll say this again. But for now, let's activate the visualization. See yourself in these relationships. What are you doing? Who are you talking to? How are you holding yourself right now? What are these relationships doing that are giving you fun? Are you reading tarot cards with them? Are you out in front of the stars talking about life? Are you robbing a bank? Are you teaching kids yoga? What are you doing with these people? Are you doing all of the above? What is it that you're doing? Because Libra is all about doing with this cardinal energy. Your Aries is doing alone, Libra is doing together. So what is it that both of you are doing, and what is the vision that you see with this quantum partner? For some of you, it may be better to just imagine your quantum partner like the highest version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what's up, Diane? So, this is what's going to help you realize what to feel too. And I want you to envision yourself expanding. Jupiter's in Libra, so envision what you're doing with these partners, growing who you are and expanding and making things bigger. Right. And with Saturn in Sagittarius, you're seriously seeing how it's manifesting greatness and greater things. Okay. There we go. I caught that vision. Some of you, if you need the time for the vision to hit you, or if you can create it yourselves, you definitely want to hold on to it. Now, what's happening is if there's any Pisces or Pisces moon in the live chat, as we're imagining it, they're taking our magical energy, because to imagine something is magical. You know what I mean? Well, they're taking this energy that's being emitted from us and they're putting it into the spiritual realm. So know that your focusing and envisioning is not for nothing. And this is going to really carry our focus. All right. And really any of the water signs, because Cancer and Scorpio do it in their own way too. And it's actually kind of cool. But yeah. So really see these relationships. What are you doing? And now here's where we incorporate the North Node in Leo. What this power meditation is going to do for you, the first stage of this, when you envision every relationship in your life, see, does your heart feel happy? Does what you're doing, or is what you're envisioning doing, make you feel happy? And is it what you love? Because if your heart glows, then that means your destiny sponsors it, and no matter what happens, it's going to work out. That's a little cheat code there. Well, not cheat code, a little tip there that will kind of help you understand. So as you're visualizing, make sure whatever you're doing is glowing your heart, because this is activating your North Node, whatever you see yourself doing with others, and expanding. There we go. All right. So now, as you visualize, what you want to do now is feel who you are inside of that. What are you doing with those people? All right. First of all, you're visualizing what you two are doing. Now you want to visualize, what is it that you're doing with those people that's making you stand out and also connect and complement them? What do you bring in the table with what you're doing that also oh, that's really true. EMF heart gives you an energetic thumbs up. Yep, that's really true. What is it that you're doing that makes you complement, stand out, and also bring to the table of what other people are doing? Because now you want to feel that. You want to feel that, and you can have a feeling come to mind or a word that comes to mind that represents this. So take some time to feel that energy. In other words, because the moon's going to be on Uranus, what does your quantum self feel like? What does it feel like to be your higher self, your highest energetic future self? You want to feel that. And now you want to feel that as you see yourself doing those stuff with other people. How does that change, or how does that feel? Okay. If you're doing this right, your body should get tingly. Congratulations. You formed an energetic opposition with your imagination and with your feelings, because you're a boss, and that's not easy to do, especially if you have a water sign moon. Then you could really feel this. I have an earth sign moon on Saturn, so if I can feel what I'm feeling, then every single body else is feeling more than me. So if you're not feeling something, then you let me know. Okay, that's kind of how I calibrate sensitivity and energy. um I, moon and earth signs feel the least, followed by moon and air. Actually, I don't know if air doesn't even feel and they just have thoughts. That's going to be kind of good to experiment. But then it's fire, and then water actually feels energy. So yeah, if you start to feel empowered, if you start to feel your heart get excited, this is now a tip. This is a secret and a gift that I want to give to you. You can carry forth this energy whenever you want to feel empowered and go into social situations, because what you're doing is you're not just imagining, you're actually building up energy when you're channeling your quantum self. So carry this with you, take deep breaths, and then go into what you're doing. All right. And what makes this a gift is that when you charge this energy, it can raise power for you, but this is your gift. So find a way to use it in your own special way. What you're now going to do is you feel into your quantum self, whatever this word is. All right. Um, you know, my word itself is quantum. or Dr. Quantum, right? Whatever this word is, whether it's your super self or whether it's a feeling, you know what I mean? Focus on that. You want to focus on that and progressively let these tingles rise. And don't worry, if you like forget about it, as soon as you remember it, whether you forget about it for 20 minutes or 2 hours, just remember it again, and just come back to it, because sometimes you might generate so much energy, your body's going to make you forget, so you can actually chill, and then you'll remember again. So just carry it forth with you until the moon is in Aries. All right. Nature's Cookbook said we need to share this with everyone on a personal level every day. Be careful with who you share this with, because this isn't really that kind of thing where like someone can abuse this and use this in a bad way. What I mean by this is like, share this with someone you really care about, because this can really empower them. And when you bring this into situations, it's going to be contagious. So that's a very true. I concur with what Nature's Cookbook said. Indeedeth. And the moon is going to slip into Aries October 4th, 2017 at 1:40, like 1:50 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's definitely going to be tomorrow afternoon. And you'll also be in a position, you just want to carry that focus. Once it slips in there, if you want, here's an alternate. Now, if you want to take this to the next level, what you're going to do is you're going to take that focus there, then you're going to channel Uranus's energy directly. So you're going to do that meditation again. All right. And then you're going to carry it the whole way during the full moon. And then after like it moves into Taurus, you can release. Or what you can do is you can carry this towards Neptune, and then once it enters Aries, or anytime during it's in the full moon in Aries, you release it. You let it go. All right. So if you just let it go, that'll be totally cool. If you do it again, it's just going to be more intense. Somebody like Aphrodite does this naturally. So you'll find that some of you are subconsciously doing this, and then you can consciously match your subconscious and intensify it, or just let your subconscious kind of do it. All right. So regardless, that is the power meditation. Once again, you want to carry this energy into Aries so that you are in a position to ready your vessel, because you're now feeling this tingly energy. When you feel that Pluto square, it's not going to knock you off balance, because you're keeping focused. You're focusing on what your quantum self is and how he brings out and responds to, he or she brings out themselves out to situations, which is different than being caught off guard by negative vibrations. Because when you do this power meditation too, dark forces can't necessarily use illusions, because you're tapped into your quantum self. So yeah, it's crazy. You would think you'd do this all the time, but you totally could. Can we consciously match every day without issues? Nature's Cookbook, that totally depends on the person. So good question though. Like everyone's different, so this is going to influence that in different ways. Now, for that being said, this is definitely going to be very powerful for each of the zodiac signs, and you want to make sure you're not lost in how you react and respond to these energies. Trying to find, there we go. No. I'm not currently finding my oracle cards for the wisdom of the night, because what I like to do is when the moon is in a water or earth sign, I use the wisdom of the night oracle cards, and then when it's in a fire or air sign, I'll use the wisdom of the oracle. So I'm going to use Whispers of Love instead. And I'll also draw a 3-card spread. For the element of fire, this full moon is going to really release very powerfully. Luna G, no, I save super chats for live broadcasts. Thank you, good question. You could still donate though for a super chat if you totally want to. But yeah, the fire signs, you're going to gain a regeneration of conscious thought and ability for you to be in a better position to feel into who you are. Aries, you trigger this at a base level, so you provide the fire that is necessary for the rest of the signs to believe in who they are. And it's Sagittarius that's going to show them that they can believe in who they are. While Leo, you just have to really be busy shining bright so you can maintain that fire. And what this is going to do is bless you with a greater way to see how you influence others. And that's kind of the gist for fire right there. And the card that I have for the fire tribe is the Page of Swords. This Page of Swords card now is going to really indicate at a great level that you're being watched. People are watching you, fire signs. And I really mean more sun signs, the moon signs and rising signs to a degree too, though. But you're being watched. People are paying attention to what you're doing. So keep this in mind make your next move your best move. Now, Aries, because Jupiter is going to be at the last degree, the critical degree of this, and just to mention for all the zodiac signs, the 29th degree of Libra is going to really manifest and bring out the full potential of all the relationships you're meant to be with. This is a manifestation of very important partnerships, or an evolution of important partnerships too. And Aries, for you, this is definitely going to bring out quite profoundly how well you can manage with these partnerships. Okay, and with this full moon in Aries, in your sign, this is going to energize you to feel into a more authentic way to accept yourself. So when it comes to the Oracle card, we have I love you. These are important words. You want to express this love to yourself, of course, but make sure you keep it in your vocabulary. Don't necessarily feel too shy or sparing to say it. The beginning of this full moon transit, we have the 5 of Cups. So this full moon is going to just completely have you shed and let go of relationships you may not want to let go of. But however, we have the Justice and the Lovers card. So there will be an important balancing that occurs where you've made the decision that you have to make. And then the Lovers card it opens up like a room for a lot of passion by the time we get to the new moon, which is really, really, really powerful and beautiful and magical. So it starts off, it's not really bad. You just have to, emotionally adjust. And as soon as you do, stuff gets really spicy for you, okay? Leo, for you, what you want to be mindful of is that certain elements of what you believe will reflect how powerfully you see yourself. And the more you believe in yourself, the more you're going to express your important ideas to others. So don't really feel like you have to be so polished in the way you see yourself. You want to carry that rawness, because that's what's really cool. That's what people really want ultimately. All right. The Oracle card that we have for you with this is be supportive. Okay. Make a genuine effort to show you care. This is something that Leos are already good at anyway. So make sure you keep that up. We have the King of Swords here, and he may frustrate things for you. The King of Swords is clear. This is your opposite sign, Aquarius. So this is someone who wants to assert their dominance and make you feel they're intellectually better than you, but they are also like a very good like partner or friend. They have the potential to be. This is what we're starting off the transit with. So this is someone who can take your awareness of stuff with their knowledge and really alter your state of mind here. I don't know why the King of Swords is actually coming here, because this intellect that's coming through what he knows is going to help you navigate through the unclarity that you're going to head into. But with the Temperance here, any sort of mind alteration you go through, or just fog, will kind of clear and help you understand what you need to moderate. And also the temperance is talking about a fantastic serendipity and opportunity to take you to the next level as well. All right, you just have to be open-minded and willing to compromise. So Sagittarius, this full moon in Aries is going to allow you to have a lot more fun in your dealings with others, so that you can release anything that blocks your heart to opening up more. And this is kind of cool because you're one of the most open signs already. So I mean, compared to everyone else, you don't really have issues with opening up, but personally you're going to find that you can open up a lot more wildly because Uranus is here in your fifth. So we have get to know each other. Learning to meet another's need for love is important for a relationship to grow. And with this comfort here, you're going to really get to do at a way deeper level. In Sagittarius, you're starting this transit off with the Nine of Cups, which is not only wish fulfillment, but it's allowing you at length to really step into that satisfaction. And we have the Page and Knight of Pentacles. So whatever you're building, the satisfaction and what you wanted, you're going to experience and start from scratch to build, and it quickly comes into something stable, consistent, that will last for you. All right, very amazing, definitely. Now for the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, this full moon in Aries is actually going to do a lot to build your self-esteem and how you see yourself. You want to really be willing to express your talents in a way that reveal who you are without giving too much away, because Libra season can be very sensitive for you and fill you with unneeded social anxiety. As such, the Temperance card is saying you will be in positions where you're having to alter your state of mind, or you're having to incorporate things in your life that aren't necessarily the most orthodox, but just do them all in moderation. And then, you may find that a whole lot of what you desire comes through in ways that have you really enjoy what you want. You know how sometimes you can wish for what you want and you get it, but it sucks? This is actually going to really be a great blessing for you. So Cancer, the full moon in Aries for you, especially rising and moon, is going to establish how you feel about yourself out in the world. How willing are you to assert and express your ideas and come into your own public persona, so that you can bring this more into your home. And what this means is the ideas you have about yourself versus the ideas people in your family have about you are going to clash. And you want to come to a way to balance both, because if not, Pluto in your seventh is going to have you burn very harsh bridges. After all, if you can't make this work, then people who care about you are going to hold you back. And that's just going to be more messy than it needs to be. The Oracle card, or the love card that we have for you, is take a chance on love. When we start to love, our lives are changed forever. And this makes a lot of sense now, because I see the Justice card. There definitely is a decision that needs to be made, and make this decision for yourself. Make sure the decision you're making in order to hold yourself accountable to others is one you feel comfortable with, so that you're able to bring more of yourself to others. The middle of the transit, we have the Ten of Wands, which is you having to work through a lot of burden and responsibility. But once you get all that work out the way, we do have the Two of Cups. Cancer, a lot of the work you do might just fall down on you, so just let it go. It's not as serious as it seems. But if you take that chance on love, you're going to really secure a relationship with someone who truly cares about you for real, and it's genuine love that matches the holy genuine love in your heart. Okay, so very beautiful. Scorpio, this full moon in Aries is going to allow you to establish your own independent sense. Oh, I got the same cards for Cancer right now. I got to shuffle this again. Scorpio, this is going to allow you to establish your own individual sense of routine. And it's going to require that you surrender certain partnerships because of Libra in your 12th. And it's going to encourage you to really walk on your own. I even pulled the Hermit card as I said that right now, which is, wow, kind of crazy. But doing so is going to give you the wealth, and it's also going to give you the strength that you need. Actions speak loudly, so express love through your actions. And with the Hermit card, the sun's in your 12th, so this is why you're isolated more so than usual. You need this time alone so that you can come with your own personal special way to do things. Other people are just going to distract you. The Six of Pentacles as well is talking about you gaining financial assistance and you also having financial flow. All you need to do is ask, all right? Or if you're in a position to help others, which some of you will, you know, for some of you who don't need money, this could be like favors. If you need a favor to pull it in, this could also come too, or you can give someone a favor. This is usually like tit for tat. You help me, I help you. The Strength card is talking about you tapping into your deeper sense of power. For some of you Scorpios, this is an actual influence who can motivate you and give you great courage. Pisces, this full moon in Aries is really all about feeling into your worth and feeling into your self-esteem, which you're going to show others by how you carry yourself. But what this is really going to do is make you go crazy because most people won't be willing to see it. And when it comes to this energy, because Neptune is on your sun or moon or rising, you're literally invisible to others. Even though you're like right there, you're literally not there. So people aren't necessarily giving you the respect that you want, and it's getting you in your feelings. Like, don't get me wrong, they're giving you respect. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, we like that little thing you're doing, but you're aware that they're calling it little and it's pissing you off because it's not like they're on anything anyway themselves, like they think they are. So really just do what you can to lessen this feeling of being belittled, even though you're actually doing something, if not more genuine than them. Just really be in a really, oh, hold on. Wow, smoke low. That is an amazing realization. But yeah, really just keep this in mind and don't let it stop you or deter you. Now, similar to Cancer, we also have, similar to Sagittarius, I got the same card for Sagittarius that I did for Pisces, which is just, wow. Get to know each other. Learning to meet another's need for love is important for a relationship to grow. So I know someone who might be seeing this now and who's just like, wow. And I have the Seven of Pentacles. So your Pisces, you're starting off the transit, just kind of assessing, letting things grow and bring up. Yes, and see how wow is all I can say too. Wow, OMG. The Ten of Wands is talking about either letting the responsibility fall on you or kind of just having to deal with what you need to take care of. But once you take care of that, the Two of Cups is going to open at the end of this transit before you get into Scorpio season, a deeper connection. So this is going to take the relationships you have and just really open and connect the hearts at an even greater level. All right, so perfect. Air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, I have good news. This full moon in Aries is going to finally shift everything in gear so that you can now start to activate the relationships that you're in. Some of you air signs felt like you had to activate yourselves before you activated the relationships. You felt like since the relationships weren't necessarily on an even keel or you felt misunderstood, Aquarius especially, I think you felt like you had to go back, but it couldn't be further from the truth. You had to be patient. You had to give other people time to really get on your level, especially if you're a Libra or Aquarius. Gemini, you're already on an even level with other people. It's just because they don't understand understand Libra or Aquarius, you understand Libra and Aquarius, but when you speak that language, you needed people to gain more experience. It was actually fire signs who had to work on themselves, not necessarily to fix anything, but because they have upgrades, they had to go to the firmware upgrades so that they can bring this back for the rest of consciousness and humanity. So air signs, people are going to finally show up in ways that you can finally like evolve and expand upon, and just really let this encourage you to be grateful for who's blessed into your life, and really this is just going to be very exciting. All right, Gemini, the card that I have for air is the King of Swords. All right, so for those of you who are really concerned with your image, the King of Swords is an influencer, you that's able to really express yourself eloquently and objectively. This is an influence, if not you, that's going to master your mind this period and have you really see everything objectively and gain masterful advice. This is a very powerful individual who wants to work very closely with you if this isn't you yourself. Gemini, this full moon in Aries is going to release certain friends so that you can focus more on what you love. But actually what this is doing is using your circle of friends to tie you into relationships that can spark new love for you. With the full moon in your 11th, actually, what may actually trigger is a growth spurt of people who are aware of what you're creating, so that the connections you make with others can definitely be more, what's the word? Lucrative. We have love endures, and that says love does not give up or lose faith. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. So with the Knight of Cups, we do have a Pisces individual, Gemini, who might be approaching or working with you. Actually, I have you working with this Pisces. So we have the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Swords. This is the Pisces, this is you. But with the Seven of Swords, you both seem to be working on some kind of undercover mission together. Whatever you're both working on, be very mindful that you don't reveal too much about it to other people, because it's not necessarily something that's meant to be shared. You be very mindful of the dynamics here too, because with that Seven of Swords, it could be very easy for you to be deceived. So just be in a position to where you're calling things out as you see them. The reason why this is happening, you have to still be involved with this energy, because this is an influence who's going to take you where you need to go. However, you still have to make sure you're aware of the potential of where things could go negative. In other words, don't allow this person to take advantage of you, but still work with this person for now. All right. Libra, this full moon in Aries is going to release any relationships in your life that help you expand forward into being who you are. But really, this is just you're going to break up with yourself this full moon, and it's going to help you show up even greater in your relationships with others. You've kind of been with yourself for a long time, and you broke up before, but you got back with yourself, and you're going to break up with yourself again. Think you're going to kind of get sad for 2 seconds, and then you're going to probably dance to some Usher and listen to Ice Cream. I mean, listen to some Ice Cream. Eat some ice cream and you'll be happy again. We do have take a chance on love. So similar to Cancer, when we start to love, our lives are changed forever. Take that chance. You're the most charming zodiac sign. Maybe Sagittarius is more charming, but yeah, I don't think you have to worry about taking chances with Jupiter in your sign. Like you're guaranteed to like win. And we have the sun here. So you're going to be very happy, very optimistic. You're going to carry yourself with such an energetic optimism that it's going to really be contagious. And with the full card, everything about this is exciting. In fact, this could be, there's a new friend, Libra. You're going to make a new friend. And this new friend is going to bring so much sunshine into your life. And they're going to be low-key very annoying because they're that kind of new friend that's just like super energetic and they have energy for days, but they're very easily going to be your new best friend. Okay, so my heart feels so happy to say that you really need a new best friend right now, Libra, because you already have some good friends, but this is going to be so fun. And I think this person's younger than you too. No. Aquarius, this full moon in Aries is going to really encourage you to express a whole lot more of your radical ideas, because when you polish your philosophy and how you express what you believe to people, it's very intelligent. It's very, like, fascinating and charming in and of itself. However, this full moon in Aries wants you to express more what you really think. All right. There's what you believe, but Aquarius, the Gemini knows, the peace dealer knows you really think about how people are aliens, and you really think about stuff that you can't say because people will be like, oh my God, this person's weird. Focus more on that Aries part because it's true. As weird as people think it is, Aquarius, it's true. People just can't accept it because it's too raw. You have to distill stuff. If you were to give someone, straight lemon juice, it'd be like, oh, shoot. You have to Libra it. You have to distill it, purify it in Cancer, and then make it palatable, right? And then you can distribute it in Capricorn. So focus on anything that's too raw about your message and let go of what's too raw, but still embrace it so that you don't forget it. And I forgot who we got this for, but you got the same cards as someone else. While I shuffle Yep, you got the same cards as Sagittarius. All right. First of all, show simple acts of kindness. So a simple act of kindness can energize you and bring happiness to those around you. It's important to know that. And Aquarius, we have the 9 of Cups. So this is definitely wish fulfillment. You're going to be in a position to gain and reap a lot of happiness from you getting what you want. And whereas Sagittarius had the Page of Pentacles and then the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Pentacles and then the Page. So you're going to get what you want, and the Knight is going to really signify that it's going to stay. Once you get these two, it's like what you want is here to stay, and it's going to be consistent and reliable. And the Page of Pentacles is almost you taking from that and giving a gift to someone else or receiving a gift. All right. So definitely gnarly pimp. And finally, we have, what is last? Earth, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. I would almost forget about you guys. This full moon in Aries is going to be hella vulnerable for you because these are in your water houses, and the key here is to really just let this energy burn you alive. This is your opportunity to let this energy burn you to a crisp, because Aries does not play and it wants to rawly burn. And just know that this may be private, but the purpose of this is to open up a deeper sense of passion in the way you express your deeper understanding of yourself. Me as a Taurus rising, I'm starting to feel myself able to integrate the more unconscious parts of my personality with who I really am and come to terms with that. Because when you have fire in like water houses, you could just feel really irritated about stuff. And it's just kind of like a darker form of fire, but it's unique in its own way that accents Earth, and it's something only Earth could really do. But regardless, the card I have for you is the 4 of Swords. You want to really rest and meditate through this in order for you to make the best of this. If you're not having enough rest, then it's going to once again just add to your stress. And Taurus, this full moon in Aries is going to reveal secrets about your hidden identity that you weren't able to understand before. But now, because you're going to see how this plays out in your routine obligations with your partnerships with others, this will let you know what you need to release. But see, you're different from the other zodiac signs because this is a 12th house full moon. So everything about this is just going to happen for you. And it's going to be a revelation that you kind of make about yourself. And be supportive. It's the final piece of the puzzle, actually. Be supportive. Make a genuine effort to show you care. I got the same thing for Leo. We have the Lovers card that's kicking this off. So Taurus, you're going to actually be in a position to express great passion. And I see this more, it's quite interesting because this is coming with the Nine of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles, which is a Capricorn lady. So whoever the Queen of Pentacles is, this is actually like a woman that you're going to be involved with. This could be a moon in Sagittarius, Capricorn, but regardless, this doesn't even have to be a Capricorn woman. This is just a woman that I feel this Lovers card is with, but it's not necessarily gender specific at that too, because I'm not sure if this is the same person. Taurus, you might be skeptical of this person. You might be in a position where you're not necessarily able to trust or see this person well, but then of course you are later thing. If it was the other way around where she came first, but the fact that she's coming after is probably going to help merge the lovers here. But this is kind of a bit longer because there's multiple meanings to this depending on the situation you're in with this individual. But yeah, it will reveal a whole lot that you weren't able to connect with earlier on. And Virgo, this full moon in Aries is going to be super vulnerable because you're going to have to deal with twitches. You're going to have to deal with a dark, raw sense of your psyche that you're terrified of releasing to people. Because every time you do something weird that you can never really undo. And so you've kind of suppressed this mercilessly. And in order for you to repair your sense of self-esteem, you just want to completely surrender to it fully and release it. And it's going to be triggered to where you won't really have a choice. Like attracts like, though. So if you are longing for more love in your life, you need to be more loving. And Virgo, what I mean is you snap so hard these days. And you don't know you're snapping because Neptune is across your sun, making you loopy as hell. And then Uranus is king-kunxing your sun in your 8th, making you like snap because you're seeing people disrespect you and it's pissing you off a lot more than it normally does. Because you shouldn't, you're upgrading your sense of self-esteem. You're realizing, hey, I do so much for other people. Oh, hell no, I'm not taking this anymore. Nor should you. So we have the Temperance, and this is great because the 10 of Wands follows it. So you're having to establish first moderation in your life to deal with the work that's going to come and pour in for you. Okay, keep this in mind because you end off with the Lovers. This is actually really great. The Lovers card is going to, with both of these angelic influences, free up room for passionate love for you and also a unison of your mind and heart. Just once again, I'm getting this notion with with several of the signs. You need to really work through a lot of work and get that out the way so that now you'll have room to have fun and love. So as soon as it comes through, make sure you deal with that. And finally, Capricorn, this full moon in Aries is going to cause so much drama in your inner world and private life that things are going to come to a head because the sun is in your public life. So be very mindful that certain things you're not wanting to reveal get revealed because of this 4th house energy. But what this is really going to do is actually help you come to terms and be more at peace with how you feel deep within yourself. And you can stoke and feel this with a lot of confidence and courage. The oracle card we have for you, Capricorn, is do something for someone else. Attention to someone else and water that person and nurture them with your focus, okay? The Wheel of Fortune is going to, with this full moon in Aries, shift your karma. And anything that was kind of low for you is going to shift right in your favor. This is like the final dose of luck to give you that final plot twist that you almost sensed was going to happen. And this is going to lead to the Six of Swords, which moves you along a positive future. The shift of destiny is going to resolve any anxiety you have, and it's actually going to look, things are going to look up. You're going to be like, wow, I can see things getting better and sailing better. And the Knight of Wands is passion. You're going to have a lot of creative ideas, but this is actually a fire sign. This is someone who's very charismatic and passionate and is going to provide a lot of excitement and ideas for you to really move forward quite profoundly with. So thank you guys once again for joining this full moon Aries 2017 webinar. You are ready to unlock a special sense of your power that you have never tapped into ever. As sure as Uranus is in Aries, opposing Jupiter in Libra, and squaring Pluto in Capricorn. If you have any questions, I am now open to take them. Thank you once again for your patience. And for those of you who will be leaving, thank you for joining and stay blessed. I have this new love oracle card for any of my single folks. Embrace this new opportunity of love that is here. This may pertain to work opportunities or spiritual growth. And stay blessed. Love every single one. All right. Woo! That was cool. Ooh. Oh, nice. Split it. I bless all our soulmate connections. Thank you, Apollodati. Can you recommend a book about astrology? Luna G, I recommend Astrology Realized by Nadia Shah. There's a lot of good books, but I recommend that one. She's an Aquarius, so you always want to read Aquarian-related astro knowledge. With this new power coming in and Jupiter about to hit my Venus and Scorpio on the 11th, what can I expect? The new power that's coming in is going to connect you, Kristen, with all the important people in your social circle so that you can awaken them and they can spread that for you. Very powerful stuff. Very good question. Thanks, Magic. And as usual, thanks, Mike. And as usual, what do I need to know? The Pratt Pack, all you need to know is that this is going to be like the final push for you. So you want to keep running, and then this full moon's going to be the air you need to push you forward. And this will just let you know that what you're believing that no one else sees is right. And they're going to catch on later and be like, oh my God, you're right. Just like they do all the time. Andrea, are all of us getting intuitive hits like Pisces, like some off the wall shit, but you know it's what's up with people in your life trying to fleece you? Andrea, good question. Yes, everyone's getting intuitive stuff. It's just we all represent a different sense. So maybe the Geminis are getting thoughts, and then the Cancers are getting feelings, but then the Leos are seeing something. And this is just really how we're going to come together and make sense of it all. Great question, Andrea. Oris asks, my chart is half and half Sag and Cap. How will the Saturn shift affect me? Oh, great question. So it's going to be even more intense because it's going to incorporate Pluto. It's going to shift your perception. The Sag part was really making serious how you see things. So once it moves into Cap, you're going to be serious about what you do because now you're already influenced by how you see it. Jupiter will be transiting exact on my North Node in my 3rd. What Jupiter is going to do for you, Apollodati, is establish you with a brand new, the North Node is new because it's future. It's going to establish you with a new attitude and a new idea that's going to influence your life for the rest of your life because it's literally like, you know, destined. So be very mindful of what kind of new knowledge you get hit with. Would you briefly explain Jupiter and Scorpio transit my 4th house? Nature's Cookbook, you're going to gain profound secrets about your family line and dreams from your ancestors. You're also going to get an upgrade in blessings from your ancestry. It's a really important transit that reveals a lot of stuff like that, and also feel more comfortable with and proud about who you are. Mike, there's a fine line between being humble and your superpower and being arrogant. How do you maintain the balance during these awesome upgrades? Nasiha, good question. When you get arrogant, it's because you're in a human vessel and you're channeling godly energy, especially if you have your sun and moon in zodiac signs after Libra. You have to feel that arrogant because the arrogance is like fire. When you're a fire sign, that fire gets hot and you have to feel the arrogance, but then you have to let it go. So the issue is not feeling the arrogance, because honestly, I don't care what anyone says. Sometimes you have to be like, you know what? I'm the shit and I'm better than a lot of other people. All right. And that's just literally fire. Yeah, arrogance is addicting. Like Paul Didey said, that's why air signs and fire signs, we can get intoxicated by it. So you actually want to experience it, but don't hold on to it. Don't let that be a chip. If you hold on to that stuff, that's where it gets bad. But feeling it and really feeling it, you know, even if it's not true, just let it go. Feel it and then let it go. That's a really good question, because with these awakenings, you're going to feel it, because for a split second you're going to embrace that God consciousness, but then you humble yourself to bring yourself back down. So it's actually part of the process. What does it mean that Jupiter goes into Scorpio and Mars and Venus conjunct in Virgo? What this means is that a whole lot of how we express this love and beauty and passion through our lifestyle is going to merge with how we psychologically incorporate this. But this is really indirect, if anything. All right. Saki, I did get your email. I'm really behind on a lot of emails. The moon has been in Pisces. I think I turn stupid when the moon goes into Pisces. Like, I'm gonna start taking off for those 2 days. So I totally have not forgotten about you though. But yeah, Scorpio will be transiting your midheaven. But before I say that, the Mars and Venus conjunct in Virgo is going to bring out facts about you that you can now transmute and transform. It's just going to give you relevant info that you could use to do whatever. And since it's opposing Neptune, it'll add a lot of magic. Jupiter and Scorpio transiting your midheaven is going to give you, Saki, great opportunity to like expand your world and to reach out to others. So put yourself out there. Since it's in your midheaven, put yourself out there and show yourself to the world, and you're going to have powerful people who want to do stuff with you. What magic will happen on the 10th? Well, on the 10th, the moon will be in Gemini. So it's cool that you knew magic would happen. I think that's awesome. The magic that's going to happen on the 10th is you're going to see very clearly the truth of every relationship that you're involved in. And that's magic, because you're going to see how many people have been lying, and you're going to act accordingly. Oh, that's going to be the magic that happens, by the way. Like, people who thought they could lie to you, is the truth's just going to come out. Like, oop, it's going to come out, and it's going to be magic though. So you didn't expect it. They're just going to be like, oh, well, cat's out the bag. So yeah, thank you guys. I'm going to end the Q&A right here. You guys are awesome as always. I think the 23rd is when we're going to do the new moon. So I'll get that set up soon. And until next time, one and all,